Hello there, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hi. I'm ready to finish the event. Wah. I have time. Yeah, totally not rushing at all. It's fine. Just fixing my little screen real quick. So now for the search. Throughout the probe in a deadly ground. Searching for the coordinate of hope. Or the coordinates of hope. Ah yes, we're gonna get the hopium. Yay for the power of hopium. Oh, we're fighting for Sting. Okay, that's fun. Sextons, they're coming for you. I still can't believe she took so long to come home last night, but it's okay, she was just being shy, and I got her outfit in the end. I bought her maid outfit and put her in it. I just gotta raise her. I was hoping that she'd be nice and come home a little bit earlier than when she did. But Doritos! All the offerings that I have left are now for Sopo! All for you, Sopo! Prize! Yeah, totally all for you, Sopo. Bonk. Go get him, Kukai. Man, having fans on feels so nice at home. Sure, it's still like 85 degrees Fahrenheit, but it's okay. Better than at work. Ahahaha. Hello, and yes, I'm terrifying the enemies with bathing suits. I will never say no to a good bathing suit, no matter the game. If it's an option, I would choose it. Hello. Decay. In the vast shadow, a wounded body and a tormented spirit both sink into rot. Rot. Stinky. After silently making our way through most of the castle, we finally arrived at the hall where Sexton's is. I've been vaguely smelling the odor of rotting plants ever since I entered the castle. It's very similar to the smell from when I rescued Helena. Ew, stinky! As we move deeper into the hall, the smell grows thicker, so I can barely breathe. And then, at last, we witness what was shown earlier in the surveillance footage. Very well then, you simply need to pass a single trial to learn how to control it. You will see, hear, and touch another world. It is where every doubt within your heart will be answered. By God. Within the Great Hall, the dolls who look uncannily similar to Nemesis are prostrated on the floor, worshipping in unison the woman in the holographic projection. Exactly, not an option 2 out of 5 game. Needs more swimsuit. The things she sings stir an ominous feeling within me, especially the part about another world. William may be dead, but judging by all this Paradise activity, their goal hasn't changed. Gaining access to Nirvana, there remains Paradise's ultimate goal. Ooh, how's it for Digimon Season 5? But is Nirvana really something that can be accessed so easily now? Please come this way, Big Sis. Led by the girl named Ataraxis, Sexton descends the stairs. Before her stands a tightly sealed door. That is a room that was labeled Underground Wine Cellar on the castle map we obtained. Wow! All good! Why is it only 4 episodes on the disc? Huh? Come, my child. If you can withstand this gift, you would truly be able to possess all you've ever wanted. Possess all I've wanted. As she moves closer, the door begins to shudder. At first, it makes only the faintest sound, then it grows until the ground trembles along with it. Seemingly resonating with the trembling, her fingertips quickly quiver lightly when they touch the door handle. Sextons, don't open it! Too late. The instant Sextons makes contact with the door, it springs open like a blown gasket. Oh. Oh my, lots and lots of hands. Maybe since it's only 4 episodes per disc, there's a higher chance of them working properly. Haha, if only. Even through my protective suit, that cold odor, heavy with the stench of rotting plants, rushes straight through my nasal cavity. My body reacts before I can even fully register what I'm seeing. Countless Bujum cells multiply endlessly beyond the door. They take the shape of a hand in the brief instant of my hesitation. Black tentacles surge out from the door in the blink of an eye, like floodwater bursting free from a cracked dam. It's the handsome Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Oh no!
Is that a Boojum as well?
Several of the tentacles closest to us come to a stop before Sextons. They move up high like a snake poised to strike. Then the palms of the tentacles suddenly split open, revealing an eye that fixes its cold gaze upon the doll in front of it. It's just staring menacingly. Yeah, the wine in the cellar may have aged too much.
It'll be bad if we let it keep growing like this.
I raise my weapon, preparing to get the dolls to open fire alongside me. Wait, Commander! Hello? That child... She's beneath that thing. Trembling, Melanie raises her hand and points toward the Boojum beyond the door.
You mean... the Helena H35 you sensed is under this Boojum?
Yes. She's being forced to sustain this Boojum. Commander, please save her.
Damn it. Sextons, come over here quick. Get away from the thing or you'll be pulled in.
Commander, you really are here for my sake? Yes, Sextons, I'm here for your sake. I summoned you. I even bought you your maid outfit. All for you, Sextons, so come back.
Why are you standing there for? You don't actually believe what they're saying, do you?
No, I just...
Then hurry up and leave with me. If these Boojum cells spread, we'll all be in trouble. Not to mention, there's also...
I try to rush forward and grab Sextons, but the dolls who had been kneeling on the floor immediately rise as one, aiming their weapons at us. The woman in the holographic projection raises a hand to stop them.
Pause the ceremony.
Give us a moment. She turns to look at me. The processed holographic image shows only a blurred outline of a woman. Exactly, I paid so much money on you, you better come back. We finally get the chance to meet, Commander. I'd imagine our meeting at a more dignified occasion, raising our glasses together, speaking of our past. Of the choices we made in the present moment. Speaking of, the future of this world. But seeing you now, I suddenly started thinking that even unexpected encounters like these are romantic in their own way. It turns out that I may even become just a curious girl before a hero like you. Wow, Mother's down bad for us.
I have no interest in discussing the future of the world with one of Paradise's pawns.
I'm afraid you have been misunderstood.
Paradise, or the conglomerate. What's the difference between them two?
Please don't impose unnecessary assumptions about someone's identity before you truly understand her, Commander. Perhaps a decade of drifting through the gray areas has dulled your perception. Hedonism is the most inefficient product of human civilization. Even a hero is not immune to it.
Belittling me doesn't make what you've done any nobler.
No, I'm just sympathizing with you. You've been deceived and used time and time again by those in power beyond the curtains, so you've gradually grown distrustful, convinced that anything claiming to make the world better must be an evil scheme. Commander, the world is not strictly black and white. I'm merely an ordinary scientist, and science itself has no stance.
But scientists do.
And that is exactly why I've never sworn my loyalty to any particular faction. I strive to preserve my neutrality. And in biology, many results can only be obtained by maintaining that neutrality, not by choosing a side.
Collaborating with Paradise and with the conglomerate, is that your ideal of neutrality?
Paradise is nothing more than a refuge where I happen to have stayed for a longer time. Those corporations are merely partners that I trade with. I've always been loyal only to science and to humanity itself. Any force that helps me move forward can be a friend to me. You two once stood shoulder to shoulder with great researchers in your past. The notions I'm describing should not be unfamiliar to you. We're all simply doing things in our own way to ensure that life can continue to exist in this terrible world.
If you mean Persica, then what you've done is in no way worthy of being compared to her.
Persica, Lyko, Hume, and Samantha Shaw. I'm no different from them. We're all foundational pioneers that seek to chart the unknown abyss that is the future of this planet.
As far as I know, they didn't need to draw upon Paradise's strength. when they established their theories of doll composition.
True enough, though, as I mentioned, moral concepts are not within my range of consideration. But think about the decade you spent disconnected from the world, 10 whole years spent in self-exile. Did you really think that the Paradise you once dismantled wouldn't change?
All I see is that this time, it's gotten even sneakier than before.
That is because you forced it to change its form, and by doing so, you helped it find a new way to survive. Have you ever wondered why Bujums, creatures like these, suddenly began appearing all over the world? Why has Paradise established countless hatcheries in the past decade, and why have so many Helenas been produced during that time? And here's what you're most concerned about. Why do new Nightos continue to appear, even though you've already killed William with your own two hands? Charles Darwin formally proposed the theory of evolution in 1859. That was when humanity truly began to understand life through the dimension of time. Evolution is not a game about becoming larger. It is a contest of who can adapt best. Looking back from where we now stand to the starting point of civilization, each and every era was filled with impressive levels of ignorance and savagery, yet all that was simply mere adaptation to the environment. Your destruction of Paradise was, morally, a heroic act. Perhaps it saved hundreds of millions of lives. But when you did that, you also altered the world's ecology, and in doing so, caused inevitable changes to the human world. In other words, Commander, you're the one who made Bujums come into existence in a certain sense. Are you saying I'm the parent?
Enough. Let's discuss my terms. Hand over Sextons and the girl you've been exploiting. I'm talking about H35. Do that and we'll leave for now. Otherwise, this castle of yours and everything inside it will be nothing but history.
I won't doubt that you've made preparations to destroy this place, but forgive me for putting it straight. Given the resources at my disposal, we can build faster than you can destroy, Commander. Ooh, hello. The reason you prevailed in every battle up to this point has had a great deal to do with the opponents you faced. They've always underestimated you, dismantling or dismissing your current standing and the meager firepower of your dolls, attacking carelessly only to be defeated by your skilled tactics. But Paradise will not underestimate you, nor will I. We hold you in great regard, and we respect the force behind you as well. What's more, for reasons of my own, I have no wish for you to deviate from your current course. I hope you do exactly what you wish to do. Hello. That said, this does not mean I cannot fight you and win. I merely have no desire for our first meeting to end so badly.
Are you telling me that I can do as I please then?
Commander, I've kept my eye on you since Frankfurt. You're one of those chosen, yet you seem to have cast aside every arrangement laid out for you. Not even God can stop you from acting in accordance to your own will. Still, I hope you'll give this question some thought for a moment. Humanity is doomed to forever be unable to revisit the temptation of relics. I believe you'd agree with this point. Even if the rulers of the world can today, their descendants cannot. So suppose you have the power to make a decision on it. Would you be the one who grips that power herself? Or would you hand it to someone else? Her words leave me silent. The question of who would best wield relic technology is one I've considered before, but I've never reached a definite answer. However, the list of those who must never lay hands on it is a long one, and just now, one more name got added to it. The woman on this other end of the comms device chuckles softly. You say nothing, but I've already seen your answer. Clearly, you wouldn't claim it for yourself, and I'm not on the list of those you trust. Doesn't matter. We have enough time and space ahead of us. Enough time for us to change your mind. Believe me, I'm more fitting choice than Persica. Alright then, Commander. If you wish to leave, I'll see you out. If you wish to witness Sexton's coming of age ceremony, then please don't interfere. The projection vanishes. Behind us, a spiked iron grill rises from the floor, blocking off Sextons from us. Which means that the ceremony, temporarily suspended for a conversation with me, is now resuming. How polite that they stopped.
Damn it, Sextons, don't go any closer!
This reminds me of when William offered Ange control of Paradise to reshape the world how she saw fit, but she turned it down and died not long after. Poor Ange. I try to break through the iron grill to reach Sextons, but the ash gray-haired dolls surround us when I do that. All the Nemesis sisters. I wouldn't mind getting some of Nemesis' sisters. At least one of them. All the Nemesis sisters. Like, they cute. Too bad we must fall. I hope we don't have to destroy the castle, because I do like it. It's fancy. Though it is a bad castle considering what's underneath it. Oh yeah, it was definitely good to do Corpusant. Like, we got to see a little bit of Orphalune. Alluded to also Igla and the Boojum. Like, oh my goodness. Her Boojum form. The barrage of gunfire and smoke subsides. Team Girls in the Phi have finally defeated the Paradise Dolls. Ataraxis simply stands at the side through all this, watching in silence. She didn't interfere in our fight. Or intervene in our fight, nor did she lure in Sextons to continue the coming-of-age ceremony. Although this whole situation happened because of her, she acts as if everything happening now has nothing to do with her at all. I turn to look at Sextons. She stands motionless before the Boojum's enormous body, seemingly thinking something through. However, I notice her fingertips trembling faintly.
Sextons, you'll be devoured at this rate.
Yeah, totally. Oh, like not Orphalune, my bad.
Commander, what kind of existence am I to you? Now isn't the time for that. Come back with me first. Then we can talk it through, alright? If the question troubles you... No, fine. Even though you were annoying as our enemy, you helped us out plenty since then, haven't you?
Also, because you're called the Grail, I had to summon you. And you took so much of my summons. I also bought your maid outfit, so you must come back.
So I'd say... I definitely call you a companion. A companion? Huh? Like the numerous other dolls aboard the Elmo? You have been for a long time already. As long as it is what you want. I'm glad then.
Will you stayed up a lot? Super duper duper good luck. I'm tempted to throw some, and then see if I lose a 50-50. And if I lose a 50-50, that just means I'm guaranteed Soulful. Ahahaha. Sobs. Ooh, 22k collapse pieces and 140 pools worth of Doritos. That is beautiful.
From the moment I was born, I believed that I was meant to become the singular existence that stood above everything else in this world. I thought about it endlessly. It was all I could think about how to trample on everyone else beneath my heel. But when I'm on the Elmo, I can simply be one doll among many. I can be the most ordinary of them. I can rely on others, rely on you, and like the rest of them, trust you with everything about my existence. You can stay on the Elmo no matter what kind of doll you wish to be.
Ooh, thank you.
Coming back with us has to be better than being devoured by that scary thing in front of you, right? I'm sorry. I can't go back with you. The Boojum inside me can, at any moment, by some method, alter my neural cloud and force me to take actions I would never choose. A me in that state, to you, would only be a hidden threat rooted in your midst. But merging with that revolting thing in front of you doesn't solve the problem either. We'll find a way as long as we manage to leave this place. No, Commander. You don't understand. What I need is right here. A part of me, which is my other half, comes from the thing standing before me.
What? Sexton does not answer me. She steps forward, fixing her gaze on the thing before her. Ooh, she's the best CPS in the game and applies to every squad, so you're gonna try to P6R1 her. Ooh, super duper good luck. Dang though, she really is the best. Yeah, I'll try a tiny bit. And if anything, go harder for a rerun, because I need Supple. I'm hoping my catalyst for Supple work. I have my little finger puppet, and I also ordered the running doll. I have no idea when it's gonna get here though. It hasn't shipped yet. Its mass has doubled again in the time it took us to speak. The number of its tentacles have only grown. An eyeball splits open in the palm of each tentacle. They stare, they contemplate, they behold. Sexton stands before the many, a sacrifice offered unto them. For an instant, I catch glimpses of the same mutations I saw when Sexton's Blue Sphere and Igla underwent their mutations. I see them on the Bujam, a huge tree woven from flesh and blood, perhaps even a moth unfolding its wings, or perhaps some creature that just doesn't belong in any memory. And this one's a tentacle monster.
I don't fully understand the specifics, but the Bujam inside me originated from that. The protocol within me is connected to that through the Bujam network between us. So I need to sever that link. Sever it. How do you plan to do that? When it calls out to me, it also exposes the part inside that is bound to me. All I have to do is cut that off, and I will no longer be controlled. Of course, if I fail, I've also prepared a way to take it down with me. That's too reckless. I can't let you do that. If everything fails, I'll just let it devour me. That way, at the very least, there'll be one less doll who had hurt the Elmo and would have gone on to hurt it more. Sexton smiles at me. I realize that this is the first time I've ever seen her smile like this. The first time since the day she arrived aboard the Elmo. Thank you for the invitation, Commander. That's the first time anyone has ever invited me for anything. It's a pity then that an ordinary life on the Elmo isn't suited for me after all.
No, it is. If you want to make coffee for us, you can. If you want to make food, you can too. Hello. I want those cards too. I wonder if they're gonna finally, if they're gonna announce an English version of it. But the Japanese ones are cute. I gotta see how much they are. I gotta look at the market. Sexton takes one more step forward and extends her hand. The tips of the Bujam's tentacles split open soundlessly, forming an enormous gluttonous whirlpool that climbs and coils around Sexton's body. Ew.
Everyone, shoot those tentacles!
Our bullets rain upon the Bujam with great prejudice. I contribute what I can by emptying my remaining 2 magazines into it. But against its endlessly multiplying cells, such attacks are nothing but mere trifle. We together cannot stop it. We cannot. Sexton's, offering no resistance, is quickly dragged through the doorway. The tentacles retreat into the lair. Only a few streaks of mucus remain in the ground where she is dragged from. Ew. When the door slams shut, I hear an enormous explosion from within. Whether Sexton has detonated some kind of explosive, or she, I have no way of knowing. Nah, she'll be fine. Oh yeah, I should be getting my Tomato Emperor on Saturday, or by Saturday. I'm excited for my Tomato Emperor. I kinda wish I ordered 2. I mean, there's still a chance to buy another one, but let me stare at mine first when it comes in. Evacuate. A vast bank of fog hangs over Journey into the Unknown. Into the unknown. Is it over? Blood-like black mucus seeps out through the seams of the door. For a moment, an immense silence looms over the whole castle. Ataraxis, who's been watching the whole time, the whole thing from the side, still wears the same indifferent expression. When the enormous explosion reaches her ears, she only lifts her eyebrows slightly, her face expressing confusion. Why? Why would she cast herself aside? Because she had something she wanted to protect more. Are you incapable of at least understanding that much? Ataraxis looks at Alva as if mulling over the words in her mind. How could there possibly be anything more important than one's own existence? Please teach me.
We won't be able to teach you that. But what I can do is dispose of you.
Gunfire erupts, bullets spray without warning towards Ataraxis. Into the Unknown is a song title from the band you like that's been teasing stuff. Ooh! Ah yes, totally referenced it. By the time the dry click of the assault rifle's firing pin striking empty echoes through the air, Ataraxis has already appeared behind Voimostina. And that's the band with the lore involving a cult, right? Which is kind of perfect because Paradeus is a cult. So tada, it is a reference. It's all a reference. Which is precisely where the tip of the dagger is waiting for her. Of all the dolls present, only Voimostina is able to keep pace with her speed. Even Ataraxis seems mildly surprised when Messina's dagger cuts through the air near her, only to be stopped by some kind of force. But a steel spike launches from Messina's wrist, piercing that layer of defense faster than the dagger swings. Ataraxis raises her hand to catch a spike that was about to strike her left eye, halting its momentum. A simultaneous downward elbow strike snaps Messina's dagger clean in two. Messina circles behind her in a flash, but Ataraxis turns her body in advance to counter her. Her slender wrist catches Messina's knee strike head-on, a blow heavier than a rocket round. The boom and shockwaves sweep through everything nearby, but Messina staggers back a few steps. Part of the armor on her knee has been crushed, sparks scattering from it. Yet Ataraxis hasn't even moved an inch. She simply claps her hands free of dust. Ataraxis is terrifying. I thought Eagle was terrifying, but no, it's truly Ataraxis. Thank you for the bout, esteemed warrior. What goes your name?
Voimastina.
I'll remember it. I felt a most intriguing sensation just then. Might that have been... pain? Yeah, she's being taught pain. Oh, nice. Ataraxis holds out her right hand for us to see. A faint red mark is visible on her index finger, but in the next instant, the mark gets replaced by flawless smooth skin through some kind of self-healing ability. I never anticipated that. It appears that there's still many things that I've yet to learn. Commander, would your dolls be able to make me feel more pain if I were to attack with full force? Do you want to experience pain? I glance at Messina's leg. She gives me a nod, firm as steel.
Wanna try?
I would very much like to. But if I did, you would certainly die. And Mother already said it. Some kind of higher dimension being has, by means we cannot easily understand, bound you to this world. If I killed you, the threads that embody this world would fray into disarray. If that were the case, it could divert us from the future we are meant to walk.
I don't see how my life has anything to do with your future.
But you already shaped my past. Others may perhaps overlook your significance, but Mother understands you better than anyone. She knows how you change the trajectory of this world. Mother knows you're the main character, which means I can't kill you. Commander, I'd never be born if you never fired those 8 rounds into William. And Mother's research would never have made such progress in such a short time. In a way, both you and she are my creators. I need a paternity test. Or a maternity test, what is this? Ataraxis is my child? I'll heed Mother's advice and let you leave. No, that alone is hardly enough to express my goodwill toward you. How about this then? I'll let you do as you please here. Plunder like a conqueror, take whatever you want. Just don't be too greedy. Like a star saying goodbye to its audience, Ataraxis offers a small curtsy, and disappears into the far end of the dome, leaving us with her parting words. There are too many things that could kill you here. Even God could get careless, and the dead cannot return. Meanwhile, behind the iron grill, the 3 Bujums we encountered earlier reappear. The electronic shackles on their bodies are gone. Cerberus has returned, and now he guards the gates with great fervor.
What do we do, Commander?
I stare at the tightly shut door before us, hoping for some kind of movement within to rekindle my hope. But there is none.
Damn it, is our only choice to abandon her?
It's not just Sextons. We'd also have to abandon that girl trapped within the Bujum. Commander, the detonation points around the building have been confirmed. The moment you're clear, I'll have Mekti trigger the explosives. Commander, I understand how you feel, but we've already been inside the red zone for over 10 hours. Your body...
Don't worry. This paltry amount of radiation can't hurt me. Anyway, deal with the immediate threat first and secure a retreat.
Roger. I did say that I did want Ataraxis, but still... Ataraxis, I don't want to be your parent. No! So dang though, her mother really likes us, huh? Mother is down bad. What kind of things were you saying to your daughters about us? Ah, yes, the commander, who happens to basically be your other parent. I don't remember making you. And wow, saying that in front of my sister. My big sister Groza. Roar! Roar! One of the blue gems suddenly erupts with a piercing shriek in front of us. Ignoring all attacks, it charges madly at Fritia. Fritia is unable to dodge it in time. She gets slammed against the wall by the beast's enormous strength. Hisk. The blue gem's eyes flare red. It paws frantically at the floor with its hooves, gathering momentum for another charge at Fritia.
Hey, watch out!
Krolik dives forward to tackle Fritia. The two of them roll out of the way together. The blue gem barely scrapes past their bodies as it slams into the tightly shut door, creating a massive crater on it. Darn William, then. Thanks. I thought that was it for me.
Nothing to thank me for. Anyway, I just paid you back with the favor.
You tsundere?
Who are you calling that?
While the two of them dodge another attack, the two other blue gems, their injured rib cages heaving with labored breath, fix their blood-red eyes on their position, ready to attack at any moment.
Wait, these blue gems seem abnormal. Your target is a door. Fritia, Krolik, get out of the way!
The two of them leap to the sides of the door. All three beasts charge forward at once. Thunk! But the door is not as fragile as it seems. It only gives off a dull echo, continuing to hold its position firmly, guarding the boundary between the two rooms.
Roar! Roar!
The three blue gems turn their gaze toward the door. They stop paying attention to their attacks and shift their assault toward the door.
Commander, this is a great chance for us to retreat. Commander, please prioritize your own safety. Commander, please give the order.
Thunk! 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 The thunderous impacts within the hall refuse to fade away. Bizarre, there was no other way to describe this behavior. I felt myself ponder. Al was right, this is the best moment for us to retreat. But deep down, I can't shake the feeling that the truth I have yet to uncover lies beneath the blue gem's strange behavior. Retreat? But we still have no leads on that girl.
Melanie, can you still sense that girl?
I can. Commander, that girl is still alive. She's very weak, but her consciousness is still there. Hello, hello. These blue gems charging in. They're trying to repair that monster inside. I turn toward the door. One of the blue gems, its injured horn lowered, is barreling toward it. After all those violent impacts, the door is now riddled with dents and craters. It no longer seems as impregnable as it did at the start. Following its latest impact comes a deep boom that sends tremors through the whole portico below the stairs. Dust and debris fall down from the dome ceiling. Looks like this ancient brick stone walls will be the first to surrender. The second and third blue gem charge in one after another before the echo can even fade. Compared to when Ataraxis was controlling them, they move with neither order nor techniques. They channel nothing but the savagery of wanton force, pulling their weight at its barrier. Boom! After an earth-shattering crash, the door is finally ripped from its frame, slamming into the ground with enough force to kick up a plume of dust and smoke. At last, I can now see clearly what lies beyond the door, a great rot. My eyes scan the scene hidden behind those wooden windows, and I pause. Therein lies a sight grotesque enough to make the unprepared wretch. The walls and ceiling of the room have been marred for eternity by splattered blood and chunks of mangled tissue. Ew. Sextons must have detonated what was the most powerful explosive we had aboard the Elmo. That enormous mass of flesh, formed by weaving countless intertwined tentacles, now crawls on the floor, writhing as if struggling to reassemble itself. It has lost the intimidating presence it had before. Its tentacles lie scattered and broken, its eyeballs roll across the ground. I want to kick them. Its wounds twitch faintly beneath the layers of overlapping tissue, seemingly trying to mend themselves, but the damage is too great, it cannot heal immediately. But the three blue gems charge at the creature before we can react. One after another, they sink into its enormous body and are absorbed, becoming part of its flesh.
Melanie, are you sure?
I'm sure. Beep, 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 beep. The detonation device Alva carries lets out a series of alerts. This is a signal similar to the previous one. So this is what was emitting the abnormal pulse we detected. Commander, it's repairing itself. If we don't retreat now, it'll be too late. I glance at Melanie, then at the massive Bujum within, now stirring once again.
We can't. There's still someone alive in there.
I run toward the doorway, toward the direction where Melanie sensed a Helena. The dull gunfire follows close behind, driving away the tentacles that try to reach. Must rescue the next Helena. Need to adopt another one. Destiny's pull. Destiny guides your path and gives you the courage to advance. I got this. I'm brave enough. Beneath the Bujum's massive body lies what appears to be a network of low-temperature pipes and reaction systems. Some kind of liquid courses through them, maintaining a deathly equilibrium. I only realize when I look closer, the liquid is filled with what appears to be like flesh and tissue. The Bujum's body is in its final destination for the flow of nutrient solution. Ew. An enormous round pit sits at the far end of the cellar, sinking straight down into the earth. The pit's walls are now covered in spider web-like cracks from Sexton's explosion. When I look down into the pit, I realize that the space there is bent in some unnatural way. A faint flickering glow blocks my view of whatever lies inside. What a familiar sensation! For some reason, the closer I approach, the more distorted my thoughts become. Visions, they cross my mind. They don't belong to me, they belong to the countless souls that are arranged in a line before me. And my body is but a mere vessel that passes through, seeing them unfold in each passing moment. I'm done for. The acute infection, it's getting worse and worse. I can hardly catch my breath, but I worry that breathing too deeply will increase my intake of radioactive particles. I glanced down at the radiation monitor and let out a bitter laugh. It can't even display the specific value now.
H35, where on earth are you? If you're still alive, answer me.
As I search the area, a beam of light suddenly emerges from the bottom of the pit. Whenever that light brushes the Bujum, the dimmed, collapsed crystals embedded in its body light up. The light travels along its withered tentacles and through its flesh, searching through its whole body. The wound left by the explosion slowly seal themselves shut and regain their shine where the light passes. The tentacles that had slumped, paralyzed on the ground, all rise at once, and with terrifying force gathered behind them, they lash out toward me. Wah! It's coming back to life! Commander, behind you! I grow this warning, I draw my pistol and blind fire several rounds over my shoulder, then dodge another tentacle strike. The three Bujums that charged in appear to have melted down by the tentacle monster. Their flesh, their plant tissue, their crystals, all of it has been absorbed into the enormous Bujum before me. And now, having absorbed all those nutrients, the tentacle Bujum fully recovers. Its body has become even larger than before. Gurgle, gurgle. Commander, I've run a simulation based on this Bujum's combat capabilities and our current circumstances. If we delay any further, our chance of successful retreat drops below 10%. You have to make the call now.
Kukai, Groza. I'll need you to stay with me. I'll remain here and fight to the very last.
Understood. I'll stay with you. Alright, Commander.
Alva, carry out your team's duty.
As you wish, Commander. This Bujum will be incredibly difficult to handle, Commander. We'll find a way to open a safe path for you. Please go forth and do what you came here to do. Commander, do you remember what I told you? Don't forget to ask me for help at critical moment. I glance over at Pritia. He's lazily coiled around Krolek, who looks clearly unamused. Perhaps it's a trick of the light, but I think I catch a flicker of something familiar in one of Pritia's eyes.
I'll do that the situation calls for it.
What you planning, Pritia? Ooh, that's a lot of arms. It looks like it wants a hug. It just wants a big hug is all. So come here. Just a tiny little hug. Blood tentacle. It's so squishy sounding. Darn tentacle monster. It's not as scary as Eagle, at least. Eagle was way more terrifying. This one looks kind of friendly. It just wants a bunch of handshakes and hugs, and maybe to give some head pats. Or wants to hold hands. Maybe all the above. But no. Look at that pile of hands constantly bleeding. The red juice. Would I rather it sound like crunchy? You know, squishy's fine. Crunchy would just be bones breaking. Okay, first round. Just a bit more for Blood Tentacle. Good job. And get those bats. And of course it's gonna be back to the castle. Makes sense. Need just a bit more. It says deal 50% of its max HP. I'm pretty sure you did that. That's like more than 50%. My eyes could be deceiving me, but it should be. Surprise! It went underground? The ground around me is already splattered with a layer of Bujum tissue torn apart by gunfire. Compared to the Paradeus labs I've broken into in the past, this underground lab isn't really all that large. It looks even more cramped because of the huge Bujum beneath us, or before us. But after searching for the tanks that would have held Helena's, like the ones I found before, or some other hidden space, I failed to find any trace of H-35 after a thorough search. Suddenly, a tentacle that slipped through the blanket of gunfire cuts off my path. The Bujum tentacle raises its tip up high. It stops in front of me, and at the center of its palm-like end, its slick, oily skin tears open. An eyeball stares quietly at me. I don't dare make any sudden move. I can only meet its gaze in silence. I will stare at it. Rat-tat-tat-tat. Seeing me trapped by the tentacle, the dolls immediately move to help me, launching their attack on it. Driven back repeatedly by the overwhelming firepower, the Bujum seems to feel pain, or perhaps merely discontent. It lets out a low, muffled whimper. Goo! Berg! Goo! Goo!
What?
Commander. Goo! Commander. Bebe?
No, Commander. You understand. What I need is right there. A part of me, which is my other half, comes from the thing standing before me.
That's right, back in Lviv, Iglo was the same way. Could it be that the Bujum is carrying... Sexton? I call it hesitantly.
Sextons?
Ooh. As though the Bujum struck by some kind of shock, it lets out a long, high-pitched wail of grief.
Really? If that's the case, how do we get you out? Right, last time, what we did was...
Pick up the comms device.
Everyone, Sexton is still alive. She's currently fused with the Bujum and is unable to control herself, so she may attack us at any moment. For now, do whatever you can to keep those tentacles pinned down, and I'll think of a way to solve this.
With the tactics laid out, each squad carefully carries out their assigned role. The Bujum rides and twists before me. Its tentacles nearly seize me several times, and they always veer away at the last moment. I can feel that Sexton is doing her best to resist that invisible controlling force, but... Arg! Commander, get out of there now!
What?
The Bujum's will... It's impossible to resist! The Bujum's will is impossible to resist. That's right, my own will, the will of Sextons, is about to be devoured. This is the consequence of being granted power that was never mine in the first place. Not having your base layer preset like the other dolls does not mean freedom. The red heart within my body has long since announced the fate I can never escape. Even though for the first time in my life, I felt like that I tried working hard for the sake of others, even though I've cast aside and erased my own frame, my own neural cloud. And still, I wasn't of the slightest use to the one I came to admire. Regret, sorrow, fear, and shame. I don't want them to see me like this. I don't want the commander to see me like this. Did I say my farewells properly in my final moment? Did the meaning I wanted to convey get through? Did I cause anyone trouble? Did I manage to express my gratitude? There is much I regret. Exactly, I spent way too many pulls on her. I'm not letting her be eaten by that boojum. So, if the boojum ate her clothes, I have a nice maid outfit for her. And it is precisely this regret that becomes the small, slender thread of safety still tethering Sexton's self to this world. Bang, bang, bang! The sound of bullets striking my frame. That is, in this disgusting mass of tissue made of the cells that are stripping my consciousness away, can even still be called a frame. My consciousness is blurring. I can barely keep this restless, writhing body under control any longer. The shame of being watched by the commander, and the joy of realizing someone is still fighting for his sake, tortures what remains of Sexton's self. The heat, unlike any other, scorches her soul from within. They're nothing more than people I just met a few months ago. Why would it matter if I killed them? As for the commander, all I have to do is hold on, and she'll surely find a way. A tangle of complicated thoughts, a heart torn between contradictions. If you submit, the pain will lessen. A voice rises within her neural cloud. If you want to become the most outstanding doll, all you have to do is act according to your will. Just like when you were born, isn't it simple? Mother is always right. It's you again. Every single time. But every time you grow a little stronger, don't you? Don't you remember? Think of how the people who once signed agreements with you treated you like royalty. Think of how those weaker dolls bowed in submission to you before you. If you had stayed under the trajectory, the whole conglomerate would have fell within your grasp. Moving forward, you need only gather enough leverage, and you'd arrive at the destination set for you, wouldn't you? No. Have you remembered already those memories of the past? My past memories have been restored? That's right, it does seem like much time has passed, and the neural cloud data from my birth onward, weaving in the storage, arranging into the scene after scene. No, that isn't storage. That's a brain. That initial trivial graft of data, multiplied and grew without end, born as a faint voice in her mind, it spread little by little to take root in every part of her, until at last it became a brain, commanding her whole body. It will eventually appraise her neural cloud and become her personality, her thoughts, her memories. And the consciousness named Sextons would be driven away into the darkest of corners. She has completed her rebirth. Very good. Next, kill me one of these meddlesome pests in front of you. The boojum's body suddenly splits open, exposing the pale spine within. It begins to flush with a sinister blood red from bottom to top, as if countless blood vessels were dilating beneath its skin. Ew. In the next moment, is akin to a volcanic eruption. Hundreds of tentacles burst forth from its body. From the ground, from the walls, from every crack and crevice, surging toward me like free-flowing lava. Is there no escape? I'm surrounded by tentacles in an instant. The slick, viscous feeling wraps around me, making it nearly impossible to breathe. The dolls scramble to coordinate with the deployment on their comms channel, trying to carve out a path of survival for me. There are too many tentacles. I can't break free right now. I'm gonna eat the tentacles. Is there nothing I can do? If this keeps up, as the tentacles wrap around my body, they begin to multiply, seemingly wanting to assimilate me too. No, I don't want to fuse with you tentacles. The protective suit is torn open at one spot. The collapse radiation alarm begins flashing fiercely in red. But since I am right next to the giant boojum's mouth, radiation is the least of my immediate worries. Was Sextons unable to endure? It looks like we have no other means to change the outcome. Commander!
Melanie? No, that voice. Although it's similar, it isn't Melanie. Could it be Helena? But...
It's so hard to breathe that I can't think clearly. There isn't much room for thinking anyway, being in my position. Rat-tat-tat! A raining machine gun fire sweeps the Bujum. Using the wall as her launch point, Peritia leaps into the sea of spreading tentacles, landing beside me. Commander!
Ritia, how did you...
Commander, from now on, please don't ask why.
What?
Peritia doesn't answer. Instead, she seemingly makes up her mind about something, giving me a firm nod. The power remaining in me has its limits, so we only have one shot at this. Now, please grip my hand tightly. Close your eyes and follow where fate guides you. Okay. Whatever you say, Peritia. I will hold your hand and close my eyes. If this is how everything ends, well, at least it ends with hand-holding. Rebirth. The old world shall collapse and everything will happen again. I don't know where I am, but it appears that I'm no longer inside the red zone. If this really is Peritia's doing, then her power is way more awe-inspiring than what third-gen dolls can do. I feel as though all things lie prostrated beneath my feet, while I myself rise endlessly upward until I reach the highest point of it all. Not far ahead of me is the figure of a child facing away from me.
Helena? Or Melanie?
I try to run toward her, but someone behind me holds me back. Neither, actually.
Peritia? You...
Peritia smiles and shakes her head. Commander, the we that exists right now cannot yet save her.
Cannot save her? You mean to say that she's... age 35?
Peritia's unnatural understanding of the situation leaves me speechless.
Peritia, how do you know about age 35?
Perhaps I overheard your conversation with Melanie. Yeah, just perhaps. Totally.
Is that so? Wait, but back then...
Commander, we're short on time. Let's focus on the problem in front of us, shall we?
You're right.
I forced my curiosity down. She's here to help after all. And by now, I'm well aware that the miracle she created is by no means easily replaceable or replicable. I trust you've already worked out how the Bujums are formed, have you?
They're a new product of Paradise's experiments.
It's not the full picture. Bujums are born through Paradise's modifications. They are another partial form of an organism. As for the Helenas, they control them through a connection no one fully understands. The one we face now has grown extra powerful thanks to the special energy provided by H35.
Special energy? Could it be...
I believe you already made the correct hypothesis. Yes, it's power from that other side.
So Paradise truly did tread farther than ever before. No wonder the woman we met seems so confident.
Indeed. She isn't merely the inventor of third-gen dolls. She's also the architect of the whole Bujum biological system, and the teacher who created the Helenas. The energy that gives rise to the pulses, the sacrifice, the medium that bears nirvana, the grail, and the anchor point that activates the relics, the key.
So Bujums are a medium that may bear nirvana.
It's actually the reverse, but Bujums are indeed one of the very few things that can actually form a connection with nirvana and mutually affect each other. Because of its inherently illogical nature, Bujum cells cannot be killed by human hands unless completely destroyed physically, but an exception exists within nirvana. And the only way to save Sextons is to sever the umbilical cord connecting the anchor point to the medium. Right now, the girl is preparing to cut the umbilical cord that feeds the Bujum. It's unfortunate, but this is the only way to save Sextons.
Then what happens to H35? You told me earlier that we can't save her. Are you sure our only choice is to abandon her? There must be another way.
If I'm not the one here, perhaps there would be, unfortunately. This is all I can do with my power. In fact, I'm afraid I won't be able to pull off something like this again for a long time. However, if you can wound the Bujum severely enough, it will fall into a state of weakness. That way, it won't be able to harm the girl any further. That is a form of rescue too. Is it something you can accept?
Can't we just kill it outright?
Hello? That's almost impossible. This one is simply too large, and the combat strength we possess is simply not grand enough to physically destroy it. That is why the girl wants to cut the umbilical cord. Sextons will be separated from the Bujum once it happens. Then we'll only need to rescue her, just like we did before. We still have enough power to protect you from the being eroded by the Bujum cells. Please act quickly once we leave this place. Commander, I'm leaving this in your hands. After Courteous finishes her sentence, I think for a moment, finally realizing what the doll has been telling me.
Wait, Pritia. Did you get all this info from StateSec? No, you didn't. You... Who exactly are you?
Commander, I'm nothing more than an ordinary doll. I do carry within me a certain particular yearning, yet in the end, I still cannot understand her well. But at least, this wisp of power that remains can help you escape your present plight, and ensure that girl won't have any more of her life force drawn out by that Bujum. I never understood why she chose me, but perhaps she did so for this very moment. Commander, you're a woman beloved and longed after by God, you know? Now then, let's begin. It's the OG women, Commander. Ooh! The scene before me gradually grows clearer. Beside me, Courteous smiles as she takes my hand. A warm power flows through my palm. The Bujum cells stop trying to erode me at the very next moment, while the wildly thrashing tentacles freeze in midair, even the eyeballs freeze motionless. I can tell that this Bujum, which was bearing its fangs at Courteous and me not long ago, has developed an emotion it should not possess toward us. Fear. I scramble to my feet and draw the tactical knife from my belt. The blade, which once gleamed silver, has suddenly taken on a tinge of deep blue. Ooh, pretty.
Cover me.
Beneath the dense strumming of gunfire, Courteous and I move past the tentacles, writhing frantically to avoid us, till we stand beneath the Bujum's enormous body. The tentacle-tip eyeballs no longer stare down at me. They squint and narrow, writhing up a frenzy alongside the tentacles they're attached to. Commander, do it now!
Damn it. Let's end this.
I raise my knife high and plunge it into the Bujum. A sense of resistance greets the blade. It feels like I'm cutting through thick rubber. I throw all my strength into the hilt and pull it downward.
Warg!
My voice and the Bujum's low muffled shrieks mix together, echoing through the castle's basement. The blade tears downward, ripping through that Bujum's skin to create a horrifying crimson wound. Unlike a normal cut, it seems seared by a fierce blue flame, immediately filling the air with a nauseating stench of scorched flesh. I wonder if the others can see this. They're like, what the heck, Commander? Like, dang, Commander, so cool! Where'd you get that awesome blue blade? The Bujum's enormous body suddenly curls into a ball, twisting and convulsing. From somewhere within it, a sharp scraping sound arises, like styrofoam being rubbed together. They slump to the ground right after, like wet mud. The blood-red color drains from the tentacles' tips, fading into a lifeless grayish-white. The eyeballs roll across the floor, swiftly burning away into a wisp of empty ash. Sexton's eyes are tightly shut. Perhaps the umbilical cord was severed, but her body is no longer attached to the Bujum tissue, sliding out like an innocent newborn. Ew, she was born! Baby, we helped birth. We have to retreat. I hoist Sexton's up with the last of my strength. Good thing she's much lighter than the usual, with most of her limbs heavily damaged. Courteous supports my stumbling form as we run toward the lab exit. Commander has become the hero. When I turn around, the tentacles begin to gather and lunge at us in a frenzy. I can almost feel cold mucus dripping onto the top of my head. Commander, duck! I immediately duck to the side. A grenade races past my scalp, exploding less than 10 meters behind me. With a boom, a splash of mucus sprays onto the back of my head. Makes me glad that I'm still wearing the protective suit. Commander, go left. Lukai's voice comes through. Pretty and I immediately turn. The sound of the electrical short circuit is heard. Right after, I sense an ominous movement in the ceiling above. Faster!
Consider for a moment that I'm human. You aren't that weak.
I want to throw back a retort, but still, I pour every last ounce of strength I can muster into picking up my pace. I'm truly glad I did so at the very next moment. Because of the electrical short, a heavy metal panel comes crashing down, hitting the chasing tentacles that had been the closest to me. Almost there. Messina, get the commander! Ella provides covering fires when Messina rushes to us. With both hands, she pulls Fritzi and me onto the steps. The door that was torn off can no longer be closed. All we can do is keep running toward the hall's exit. Team Groza, having brought Melanie to the safe exit point long ago, immediately moves to meet us when they see us approach.
I'm sorry, Melanie. I couldn't see the girl.
No, Commander. I sense your feelings. She told me that. She thanks you and looks forward to the future where...
Commander, get over here!
Melanie, I wish you could finish your sentence. Later, please remember. Rosa stands guard at the door, her hands already on the lever before the hall's main doors. The instant we step into the hall's vestibule, she pulls the brass lever. The steel door slowly descends. After some spluttering sounds by tentacles slamming against the door, our surroundings finally return to a peaceful silence.
It's been a while since I had to sprint while carrying weight. Wow, Klukai was just, like, a drill instructor at school.
I lower Sextons down and sit next to her, gasping for breath. Groza will have no talk with the other women around her. Sorry, Groza. Her eyes are tightly closed. She lets out pain moans, seemingly still unconscious.
Commander, there's a tear in your protective suit. Please let me help you do some emergency repairs. All right.
I no longer have the strength to move. I slump into place and let Alva tend to me. She takes out the repair tape and seals the breach in the protective suit.
We're still in enemy territory. There's no telling what might happen. We need to leave as quickly as possible. Commander, if you find it hard to move right now, I can carry. No, it's fine. If you can. Could you carry Sextons instead?
Commander, don't mind me. Destroy me. Run. Hurry. I'm about to hand Sextons over to Messina when her eyes suddenly open. She looks at me with despair. There's another one inside me. It's my curse. I don't know why it's quiet now. This is your only chance. Hurry. Please leave me.
You've already been saved, Sextons. Thanks to priority at H35. The thing will no longer trouble you. Now we can finally go home. Let's go back to the Elmo.
And then you can make me some coffee. Home. The Elmo? Do I have a place like that?
That's right. If Ataraxis says this place is her home, then the Elmo is your home.
I nod to Messina, signaling for her to help. Messina dips her head silently, then hoists Sextons onto her shoulder. Her concern is well-founded. We can't afford to linger here any longer. We're not only facing the threat of an enemy attack, my body too seems to have reached its limits. There's still so many mysteries to be solved, and so many questions I want to ask. But the thinking will have to wait until we get out of this place.
Alright, everyone. Quickly check your gear. Then we'll move out at once.
Tap, tap, tap. Beneath the moonlight, light footsteps approach from afar. The dolls and I stop organizing our equipment and turn our gazes toward the end of the corridor. It's Darcher. What are you doing here? I gotta fight her, wow. I see how it is, Darcher. Lament. The tragedies will eventually end, but no sacrifice should be taken for granted. Wow. Wow, just wow. The girl's parasol blocks the moonlight pouring down, shrouding her flower-like shadow. She lowers her gaze at Sextons, currently draped over Messina's shoulder. Her lips form a cruel smile. Is this how you celebrate your rebirth, Sextons? Darcher. How unsightly. To think that you're placed ahead of the rest of us, favored by Mother, you became such an ungrateful thing. She's just jealous.
At least she followed her own will, making the choice that was truly hers. Whereas you, Darcher, are still nothing more than a puppet, dancing to someone else's will.
Heh heh. A puppet?
You can't defy your mother's commands, so your only choice is to rush here and clean up the mess, no?
Commander, you always imagine things to be simpler than it truly is. I came here not because I was bound by anyone's command. Mother never issues any forced orders to us either. Are always loved, always cherished by Mother, and this extends to even that thing, Sextons. That was exactly why you had a chance to escape with your lives, carrying that thing with you. But I am different. I hate traitors. How can you betray Mother? Why would you think I let you go after you betrayed our creator? She lifts her eyes away from Sexton's face. Alright, enough idle talk. I'm guessing you have no intention of handing Sextons over to me. People like you always come charging in, talking about the power of friendship and bonds and whatever is on your lips. What a pity, really. Time to bury the rest of you with her. But Darcher, don't you know that your mother's into me? Even your sister understands that.
They're stronger than before.
Ah, Miss Grossa. I shall call you that for now. Your courage in facing me after going through all that is quite admirable. In truth, after spending some time with you, I started to like that personality of yours. Which is why I do not enjoy what I'll have to do to you next. However, I was thinking, would ending right here mean that you won't have to face the suffering to come?
What madness are you spewing? Are you retarded?
She's trying to distract us. Be careful, everyone. Uh-huh. Which of these do you think is the truth, between the image in the light and the invisible true nature in the dark? Otis 14. Ooh. How many times did we teach you this lesson, Darcher? Yeah, it's too late, Darcher. I already raised up your mother. And your sister. And kind of your other sister too, in a way. Little sister seems a little bit interested. I'm also slightly bonded with your other sister, Igla. We're gonna bond over Ojo-sama. Our delusion. Our shared hallucination. Ojo-sama. Wow, that was the best boss fight. Mimosina, she's heading your way. SKK is trying to steal away Mother. Mother's love belongs to me. No. With the light turn of Darcher's wrist, the parasol's canopy manages to block the bullets fired at her back. The bullets powerful enough to punch through steel roar like a downpour hitting the ground upon meeting the parasol, and slide off limply, making clinking sounds on the floor. She bends on slightly on the other side of the parasol. Then she leaps from a crouching position. Boom, boom, boom. Ah yes, I'm gonna find my 15. You can't stop me. Better that. When Messina opens fire without the slightest hesitation, aiming to drive Darcher back with overwhelming firepower. Her parasol is both the sturdiest shield and the sharpest spear. But if she can't break through or suppressing gunfire, her hands will be free enough to attack. Team Groza, support Messina! The doubled gunfire roars through the whole room. When the smoke clears, we find that Darcher has already arrived in front of Messina.
Oh.
The parasol had folded shut at some point, now transformed into a black assault rifle. Darcher makes no move to evade. She takes every bullet Messina fires head-on, riddling her frame with horrifying bullet holes. But the muzzle of her weapon has long since been trained on Sextons. No! Bang. A single gunshot rings out softly, jarringly sharp in a lull between bursts of gunfire.
Darcher, you...
What a brat. No one can betray Mother.
No one!
I won't allow it. Not even you, Sextons. Sextons completely loses consciousness. The bullet has bored straight through her chest, leaving a black hole dripping with blood.
Have you gone mad, Darcher? What good does this do to you?
Good? I don't know either, come to think of it. It's true. There really isn't any. But still, I can't help myself. Anyone who looks down on Mother cannot be forgiven. It's simply how I think. She has mommy issues, extreme mommy issues. So what about you, Commander? You went against Mother. What good does that do you? Going against us, getting yourself turned into something neither dead nor alive by the radiation. What good does it do you?
She's nothing more than one more individual who chose to align with evil.
I look toward Archer when our gazes meet. I strangely do not see a trace of understanding in those hate-filled eyes. See? Your fixation with your sense of justice has carried you all the way here. So, never underestimate the power of obsession.
Prepare to embrace your destruction with your blind obsession. You and that mother you keep speaking of. Prepare yourselves. I will erase every last one of you, Paradise's freaks.
Haha. Oh my, how scary. I'm so scared. What a pity, though. You won't be able to do it, Commander. And as for why, that's because Mother is a great existence, who is seen through fate itself. Archer falls backward, into the crack that is split open in the center of the floor. Rumble, rumble. Hello, hello. A violent quake erupts in the reception room, even more intense than the one during arrival.
Commander, grab my hand!
Rosa supports me to prevent me from slipping on the increasingly tilted floor. The ash-gray-haired Paradise dolls swarm in from everywhere once again, in double the numbers we encountered before. They chant some kind of incantation in unison, like a final morning prayer before the break of dawn. Commander, we've lost control of the electronic systems. Every exit in the building is closing. Looks like some kind of emergency mode has been triggered. Everyone, the route you just received on your terminals is the only one with any chance of escape.
Got it. Alva, confirm the escape route. Rosa, let's work together to hold off the dolls behind us.
Received. On the route map Klukai sent, the castle's main doors have long been sealed. Our only way out is through the other side of the reception room, across the outer courtyard, and down the spiral staircase of a tower on one side of the castle. Up ahead, Alva and Courteous clear the obstacles in our path, while Messina kicks open the locked iron door, allowing us to swiftly escape the cramped reception room and arrive upon the open ground of the outer courtyard. Though Team Groza fights desperately to hold a line between us, or behind us, the Paradise dolls remain in relentless pursuit. The intense killing intent radiating from their expressionless faces makes it nearly impossible to link them to Nemesis, who shares their appearance. Those Paradise dolls, where on earth did they even come from? If we manage to make it back, I'll ask Nemesis again, and see if she remembers anything. We will definitely make it back. Bang bang. The gunshots of my pistol drown out my pounding heartbeat. One of the bullets pierces through a head. The already battered Paradise doll falls backward, falling over the wall behind us, with a drop more than a dozen meters high. Commander, over here! The two dolls standing guard atop the tower are unable to withstand Defy's onslaught. They are quickly rendered incapable of combat. Commander, hurry! The gate on the side is about to close too. There's 1 minute left.
Don't get bogged down fighting them. Get into the tower first. The gate's about to close.
After confirming that the interior is safe, I set Melanie down on the steps and squirm inside myself. The tower's spiral staircase is narrow and steep, the air thick with a cold smell of aged dust and stone. The surrounding walls are thick and solid. They're part of the building's fortifications after all. Though maintenance is long overdue for the stone steps underfoot, they can still bear everyone's weight. Small bits of stone occasionally roll down the steps as we step on them, falling all the way into the depths of the tower.
The steps here are somewhat slippery, everyone. Be careful.
Wah! Melanie! Clove tries to grab Melanie, but her outstretched hand grabs only empty air. Melanie tumbles down alongside the crushed bits of stone she stepped on. Oops.
Damn it, Melanie!
What I feared did not happen. Andorus' reassuring voice comes through the comms. Commander, I caught Melanie.
Thank goodness. Andorus, get Melanie to a safe place first.
Understood, but... Wait, that's...
Oh no, Andorus! Get out of there, quickly!
Uh-oh. Freak. Crash. Oh no! The sound of falling, crashing metal comes from beneath their feet.
Andorus. Melanie! What happened? Are you two alright?
Commander, Melanie and I are both fine. But our forced hacking triggered the security mechanisms here, causing the wiring to lock down completely. We can't unlock it unless we have a key, or permissions to disengage the lockdown. Hacking will take time. What's more, the mechanism has also set off a small explosion at the gate near the bottom of the tower. The gate is now blocked by rubble.
Does it mean we can't even activate our explosives?
I'm afraid so. The tower, one of the defensive fortifications of this ancient structure, has only 2 entrances, one above, one below, plus the narrow windows on the walls. But those are so small that only a single hand can fit through them. Since the lower exit is now sealed off, we're all trapped inside the solidly built tower.
Damn it.
We'll just have to clear the rubble by hand. Commander, hold on. We'll get these stones cleared ASAP. Well, the situation has grown so dire that there is no room for even silence. So someone must step forward in the next moment. Only then can the script keep moving forward. We already know the ending of the story, but the journey is woven through real sacrifice, blood, and tears.
A shell cannot wrap a heartbeat. Sharp shards, mirror dreams, memory.
Nemesis! Nemesis, don't! Oh, my door. My dad handed me a mini portable desk fan. Well, I guess I'm taking that to work tomorrow. Let's see how that goes. Like, wow, thank you for the fan. Portable desk fan, seasons in motion, care in hand. Oh, that's too funny.
You bastard. What are you doing? Let go, let go!
Abolesco. Bang. After Nemesis shoves Prolix, the last one still outside with her into the tower, the door slams shut with a bang. Beep, 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 beep. Our demolition setup, which has gone dark due to the security lockdown, comes back online. I don't know how things turned out this way. Exactly, but father, I want you to turn down the sun. Or rather, there's so many questions I want to ask. But all that answers me is an overwhelming tremor and the deafening sound of an explosion. Well, she'll be fine. Portrait, ultimate betrayal. Holding fast and breaking faith both require courage. How nice. And now less story mode. Okay, let's see how this goes. Empty shadow. At the very edge of your vision, her hollow form appears once again. The next day...
Mailing, let's begin.
Alright. Baily no longer trembles in the ops room. She grips the handheld terminal so tightly that her knuckles turn white. The casualty list for the mission is laid out in detail in the center of the screen. The squads that stay behind to guard the elm will sustain relatively light injuries. The frames can be repaired by replacing parts. Besides that, Helen's neurocloud suffered minor damage. Data recovery will be performed during her next routine maintenance. Among field personnel, 404's losses and injuries were relatively minor. Defy's losses were mainly ammunition and equipment. She said that they do a detailed list once they go back, so it's not itemized for now. Mailing pauses, she does her best to make her voice sound normal. Lastly, the squad with the most severe losses. Team Rosa, Leader and Krolik are 30% frame damage. They are currently in the repair pods awaiting repair. Lastly, we have... Nemesis. That is missing. The ops room sinks into silence. To be honest, I no longer remember much of what happened after that day. While waiting for rescue, the shock of the explosion gave me a mild concussion, and prolonged exposure to collapse radiation rendered me unconscious for some time. until that we were rescued from the tower by 404 not long after the explosion. We discovered that the castle's entire courtyard area had been blown to smithereens. Team Groza and Squad 404 escorted Melanie and me back to the Elmo first, while Alba, Bomastina, and Peritia stayed for some time near the castle, waiting for the fire from the explosion to die down before making a preliminary assessment of the situation. According to the report, the severed bits of those Paradeus dolls got mixed together after the explosion. They couldn't identify which of them was part of Nemesis's frame. Once they have some R&R, they will conduct another in-depth investigation of the area surrounding the old castle. We decided to put Nemesis as missing for now, at least, until her frame can be conclusively confirmed destroyed. Nah, she'll be fine. I know we're getting a free Nemesis in the next event.
How is Sexton doing, by the way? Is there still a chance for her to wake up?
Sexton's current condition is beyond what I can handle, so for now, I've handed her over to Miss Dandelion.
Let's just leave it to her then.
Mealing's understanding of third-gen dolls is limited. All we can do is wait to see if Dandelion can do anything. Still, we did bring back her frame, so there's always hope that she might wake up. After that, each squad that took part in the mission gave their own mission report. The documents Kof brought back from the castle have already been fully analyzed. We obtained some data on Darcher, and the same doll under the codename Juno. The contents indicate that both dolls have recently returned to the castle for free maintenance. Although we don't know why they did so, it must have been connected to Sexton's rebirth ceremony. Perhaps Darcher's abnormal behavior is actually connected to this chain of events. I also managed to confirm many things previously unknown through this mission. First, regarding Paradeus' activities. After I shot William dead, new individuals kept rising within Paradeus, taking over and attempting to continue the research he had conducted back then. Chilibig's not alone, and the Liviv incident wasn't some aftershock from 10 years ago, but an entirely new probe attempt by Paradeus. Second, I initially thought that third-gen dolls were merely employed by the conglomerate, but now it seems that things aren't that simple. The conglomerate and someone within Paradeus appear to jointly hold authority over them. Perhaps the specifics will only become clear once Dandelion finishes dealing with Sexton's situation. So we now know that Paradeus and the conglomerate are fully in leagues with one another. We could even say that Paradeus is ambitious enough that they swallow the conglomerate whole if they could do so. They could do it. You can tell from the degree of the third-gen doll's chokehold over the conglomerate that they've clearly been working on the plan for a long time. Lastly, regarding the Helena project, Melanie told me that the Helena designated age 35 as a test subject, is currently heavily involved in Paradeus' experiment. My failure to rescue her is my biggest regret. I was so close to her back in that one moment. But now that I think about it, what troubles me greatly is a strange feeling I had when I approached where she was. I remember feeling something like that back in Liviv as well. There may be subtle differences between them, but I'm quite certain that it's the same kind of thing. Commander? Commander? The meeting is over. I lift my head, only then do I realize that everyone in the ops room is staring at me. I wave my hand to let everyone leave, while I myself remain, sitting motionless in the chair.
Ah, right. Ritia, may I have a word with you?
Sure. After everyone gathers the documents and leaves the ops room, I gesture for Peritia to sit down beside me. Surely you have much to ask me. Your thoughts are quite subtle.
You're right, but I don't even know where to begin.
Then why not start with the special abilities I displayed? That should be what you're most interested in, no?
Are you willing to talk about it? Then let's start there. We don't really have any other choice anyway.
Heh, Commander. If we're talking about choices, I have to say you have so many choices and options in your hands. You always choose a path that leads toward the future. You're an incredibly kind person. I think that is probably why the world chose you.
The world chose me?
That's right, it's exactly what you think it is. After all, though I'm the anchor point for her descent, even if I'm still not qualified enough to know her name. But you are qualified to know everything. And thus, at this very moment, I sit here beside you. I fall silent again, waiting for Peritia to speak. I don't know why she chose me. Perhaps it's because my processing power is great enough to support her in weaving a dream. Perhaps it was a coincidence, or perhaps it was simply fate's arrangement. But in any case, she descended here, and upon leaving, she left behind a portion of her power. You already know that this is the power belonging to Nirvana.
So you're able to temporarily suppress Bujams because of...
I'm afraid that the me right now can no longer explain it to you well. What I can still say is that she does not permit Bujams to enter Nirvana, and that the power of Nirvana is also one of the few existences capable of completely annihilating a Bujam.
No wonder Paradeus would study such a thing. Though...
There's so many questions I want to ask, but Paratia shakes her head. It's alright. There's no need to rush to understand the answers. If you wish to create the future, there must be something unknown to you. And precisely because of that, you can do what she cannot. I think it over for a long time, but in the end, I simply voiced my final request.
Then could you? Would it be possible to?
Paratia seems to know what I'm about to ask, and immediately shakes her head. I exhausted all the power she left behind while dealing with the situation we faced. I can no longer sense her. They'll probably become her eyes again. I'm afraid I won't be able to guide the power of Nirvana for a long time. Unless she wishes to change something through me once again. Sorry, Commander. I cannot help you convey your thoughts and feelings to her. But please believe me that everything is fate's arrangement. Please don't worry. Because when she bid me farewell, she told me that in the future not so far away, due to certain events, the two of you would surely meet again, and when the time comes, it'll be her seeking help from you. Once it happens, she hopes that you, Commander, would hold her hand just as you did in the past. As Veritia says this, she grabs my hand as though passing something on to me. The warmth from her palm somehow feels more familiar than how her hands themselves feel to me. The two of us stay silent for a long while.
There's one more thing I want to ask. About Nemesis. What did she say at the end?
Ah, so it's about that.
Indeed. I actually want to ask Nemesis some questions directly just now, but...
I understand that you have some questions about her identity.
Not just her identity, there's also...
I understand. I don't know the specifics myself, but she's a good kid. At the very end, she said that she would hack into the neural clouds of those Paradeus dolls, and through them, take control of the whole castle's wiring and circuitry. Everyone would be able to escape that way.
Was there anything else?
That was all of it. After all, things were quite urgent back then, yeah? Yeah. I know what you want to hear, but back then, she really didn't have time to say something like, I'll definitely come back and alive to find you guys. But not saying it doesn't mean that she won't do it. So let's hold on to that feeling and pray for her together. A week later, Dandelion calls me to the maintenance room, saying that Sexton's neural cloud is showing signs of recovery. When I hurry over, I see Sexton still inside the pod, barely maintaining the stability of her neural cloud data through the link Dandelion established.
How is she?
Oh my, her condition can only be described as super terrible. If she wasn't brought back in time, even the tiniest bit of her neural cloud data might not have been saved. Darcher's final shot landed right on her neural cloud core, an absolutely destructive blow, no question. To be so ruthless toward her own elder sister, looks like the child really does have a bright future ahead of her.
Why on earth did she do it? Just to punish the traitor? Was it really a need to go that far?
Don't underestimate a doll's sense of self. If someone achieves what you could not, jealousy would come naturally. When such a heart of jealousy sprouts, grows and ferments, it grows into an abomination that even the individual herself cannot control. If we look at it that way, third-gen dolls are actually quite similar to humans. Mander, perhaps you two are being envied by someone at this very moment.
Who would envy a wanted fugitive with official URNC bounty?
All I can say is you underestimate yourself far too much. Perhaps the reason for your bounty is the reason for someone's envy towards you. For a moment, neither of us speaks. Finally, Dandelion turned her gaze back to Sexton's. I said before that the Bujam hub can't think rationally, only making instinctive reactions, didn't I? I have to retract the statement. Although Sexton's condition is dire, the Bujam within her body has become highly assimilated with her neural cloud core, protecting her basic data from Darcher's bullet. I think this might have some kind of instinct. After a certain connection was severed, the Bujam within her changed in nature. It began to work solely for her sake. In any case, her neural cloud core is now being sustained by Bujum cells in its place. They can only be repaired by those Bujum cells themselves. So, thanks to Darcher, she is now completely free of their control if the conglomerate, Pardeus, some Bujum or whatever doubt her up. They'll just get static. On the flip side, however, since she lost much of her Bujum cells, she can no longer display the full power of a third-gen doll. Even if we did have a way to repair her frame, at most, she can perform at about the level of those twin dolls you captured in Mokosh.
We're fine even without those cells. We're now in a position to repair a better frame for her.
Swapping frames won't work. I just said that her neural cloud core is damaged, didn't I? Right now, her neural cloud is basically being run by the Bujum hub in its place. Though there are large gaps when it comes to memory. Fortunately, we made a backup when we examined her before, so right now, I'm using that backup to restore as much of her memory as possible. As for how much can be restored, that'll depend entirely on her own will. Huh? To sever the connection to the system you're born into, to no longer rely on anyone, to build a new self-consciousness by your own strength alone, it comes at an inevitable bloody price. All I can do is wish her good luck. By the way, doing all this cost me quite the time and effort. Who even remembers what I came here for? Who even remembers that I came here for vacation?
Thank you for your hard work.
What? I didn't quite catch that. You could say it a little louder, no, a little more generously.
Commander?
What terrible timing to wake up.
And whose fault is it but yours for being so loud?
Ignoring Dandelion's protesting, I walk up to the pod containing sextants and switch on my comms.
Sextants, how do you feel?
I'm back.
Yep, you're back on the Elmo.
I'm so sorry,
It's alright. If you can't remember the past, so be it. From now on, you're a member of the Elmo. That's the only thing you need to remember.
Oh, if only the commander would be so kind and gentle with me, too.
I understand. And also, thank you, Miss Dandelion.
Huh? You noticed me? And here I thought I was quite discreet about it. But doesn't that mean your neural cloud reconstruction was already going well enough? Well enough for you to perceive my presence? Looks like you can start ordering her missing parts, Commander. You won't have to throw her in recycling as per your plans.
Dandelion?
The joke wasn't all that inappropriate for the timing, was it?
Since you brought it up yourself, help me order the parts on the black market.
Order received. Dandelion's projection goes dark, only Sextons and I remain in the maintenance room. But I don't know what I should say.
Why don't you just get some proper rest for now?
Ma'am.
What's wrong?
I press myself against the comms device, trying to make out Sexton's voice. You believed in me, and when you faced such a creature, you dared to use your human body to...
Yes, I believe in you.
Even though I cannot be loyal?
I understand what you mean, Sextons. A doll who possesses full authority over herself cannot pledge loyalty to anyone through the form of a code imprint. Those two things are mutually contradictory, but it also means that we can try trusting each other, just like everyone else aboard the Elmo.
But, my lady, I cannot serve you at my original strength. I am already useless. It's okay, it's fine.
I give you a higher rating than you give yourself. You didn't just defy your own creator, you even defied the fate that she imposed on you. And what's more, you successfully mastered the Bujum cells within your body. You proved to us that a third-gen doll is capable of changing her own fate. And it's also because of you that the mask of that woman was pierced, letting me know who I should be bringing down from now on.
My lady.
Your life may have been relatively simple and straightforward in the past. They gave the orders, you carried them out. No need to question, no need to think. But from now on, you may have to deliberate on matters far more complicated. You must rely on the choices made by your heart. You must now start learning about this world the same way a human infant does. You won't know that fire is hot until you touch it. You won't realize that the path has ended until you walk into a wall. This process will be quite painful. Perhaps you also go through struggles, doubts, soul searching, and rebellion. But through this, you will discover a road never walked before, one that truly belongs to you. Of course, my understanding of doll technology is quite shallow, but I think that's more or less how the principle goes. You seem to be talking about a certain someone. No, I'm not.
I give Sextons a smile.
So right now, the you of the present is the best version of yourself. Rest well. I'll be waiting for you.
As you command, my master. Naruto had not anticipated that she would wake up so soon. Also, she still remembers what happened in the castle at the end. She killed Sextons with her own 2 hands. Upon realizing this, Darcher shudders. It means that her neural cloud is still perfectly intact. This seems like a deliberate punishment. Darcher hurriedly shuts her eyes. Pretending to be asleep won't work, my child. Mama! Darcher tries to sit up, but she finds herself tied onto a cold machine. The parts destroyed by that second-gen doll are reckless and brutish as an old heavy-duty excavator had all been removed, exposing clumps of tissue and densely packed wiring within, along with a large number of newly replaced modules. She had been repaired, yet Darcher's heart is filled with despair because she did not want to appear before Mother like this. Damn it, the doll is nothing but an old relic from many years ago. Hatred toward the enemy flashed through Darcher's neural cloud for only an instant. That thought was quickly replaced by fear.
Is there anything else you wish to say?
Mother, I was being stubborn. I did something that you did not tell me to do. But even so, Mother still family repaired me. Is it because I have been forgiven?
The commander. She wounded that prototype, severed the connection with H-35, and dug Sextons out. Having witnessed all this up close, surely you must have also seen the power behind those actions. Come, tell me everything you know, all of it.
I didn't see it.
I see. I seem to have gotten my hopes up too high.
Wow, Darcher, look at you, disappointing mother. It's like, what, you didn't see the commander? Lame. Daughter, you disappoint me. Hearing Mother's sigh, Darcher feels despair and grief surge against her crumbling neural cloud like a raging tide. Clear liquid wells up from the corners of her eyes. I'm sorry. Shh. She can no longer make a sound. It is obvious Mother does not want to hear her excuses.
Don't worry, I'm not angry with you. You've been a delicate child from the very beginning, Darcher. You've always been more sentimental compared to your sisters, and more greedy for emotional comfort and reassurance.
Darcher struggles to look toward her, trying to evaporate the tears pooling in her eyes. Seen from the past appears before her. Mother, supporting Sextons, walks forward step by step. She was the first 3rd-gen doll among them to be completed, stumbled just a little earlier than her. Even so, Sextons received the most of Mother's love, or perhaps even her only offering of love. Mother seems to treat Sextons as a prototype, as though she were a human girl, treating her as one would a daughter. That was only for a dozen or so hours, although she was probably trying to test the effect of maternal love on the 3rd-gen doll's neural cloud and the blue gem within her during the growth period. Those dozen or so hours were recorded in the neural cloud of Darcher, who watched from his side. She watched how Mother carefully supported Sextons, how she gently taught her to understand the world, how she sang her lullaby while she slept. Before she even understood who she was herself, Darcher came to know jealousy. If it were me, I would absolutely never betray. At least, the traitor's already. Still, the next time you meet Sextons, bring her back as intact as possible. I'm very curious about the current state of her heart. I want to know if its nature has already changed. Mother, why do you still want that traitor? And besides, she's been... You seem certain that you've destroyed her neural cloud. By design, if her neural cloud had truly been completely annihilated, the Bujum heart within her body would immediately take over the neural cloud's functions and control the frame, keeping her permanently fixed in another form. But that did not happen, did it? But the Bujum heart can connect into the computing process in the neural cloud like a biological nerve. enhancing processing capacity to an extreme degree, and as of now, I've only partially realized this function in Cocoon. Since it is tightly fused with the neural cloud core, and since Bujum cells are capable of performing functions nearly as complex as what a brain can do, repairs to neural cloud core processes, which are normally impossible, could potentially succeed. Of course, the potential chance to succeed is very low, but since she's now connected to the commander, it is best not to trust such possibilities, no matter how low they might be. This is not superstition, but my conclusion as a researcher. You will see Sextons again. Bujum, back up. She will appear before me again? Darcia looked at Mother in shame. She had caused her so much trouble, yet she couldn't seem to do anything right. For an instant, Darcia feels as though that perhaps she does not deserve any kind of comforting at all. But Mother walks over and strokes her head at the very moment. A gentle voice can be heard, singing a familiar sweet song, a song that had never belonged to Darcia. Go to sleep, my precious child. Rest in your cradle, warm and cozy. Go to sleep, my precious child. Every beautiful blessing, every happiness in this world, all of it belongs to you. Darcia closes her eyes in bliss. Although she knows that Mother did not sing out of love, she has never felt so content in her entire life. Then boundless silence devours Darcia, sinking her consciousness into the deep void. Mother stares with satisfaction at the transparent jar on the table labeled SCR-01A247. A faintly screaming polymer mass lies inside it, shimmering with a dazzling light. Those were the Bujum cells once active within Sexton's body. Originating from the Bujum prototype she used to grow all Thurgeon dolls, nourished by a doll's neural cloud and energy, is now taking on properties and radiation wavelengths entirely different from Sexton's Bujum other half. They had been excised by some kind of power, completely and wholly, and what's more, they had been killed. This is her first time seeing a Bujum truly die. Completely destroying Bujum cells requires only high temperatures, but there's only a method to physically destroy them. Even she had never obtained a Bujum this intact, a Bujum that had ceased all biological activity too. Ah, back when we used a sword, our lightsaber. Back then, she shouldn't have been carrying any weapons or methods unknown to me, or things I've never deployed within the laboratory. Even if the prototype can recover, the connection to that girl has likely been permanently severed, and in time, the growth progress of the prototype had achieved will also decline. The Sextons of present had become a doll not created by her. She had thoroughly attained freedom and perhaps, in a certain way, became an entirely new individual. So you're capable of even such things, Commander? He truly does favor you very much. No, this is love. You truly are our most fearsome opponent. Task Force Defy. Contact attempt 7893, requesting connection. Connection established. Mona? Why are you the one answering the call? A surgeon secretary has entered a period of radio silence for the sake of the upcoming big move, so the duty of communicating with you is now mine to take over. Alva, I've read the log for this mission. But as ever I see. Well, with what was seen around, that sort of thing it's pretty much unavoidable.
I'm on this comm channel too.
Then take it as a compliment. It's a compliment from a security doll, you know? That carries real weight. Besides, there really wasn't any other option at the time.
Thank you for understanding. Regarding the recent mission, did the organization have any feedback?
Of course, I'm not rushing you. But this discovery is critical. I believe it can serve as a direct evidence that Perdeus is completely revived, and in fact, is integrating itself into a larger, much more terrifying existence. I understand you, but it seems the higher-ups have something they're way more concerned about.
Something they're more concerned about? But what could matter more than tracking down?
I know, Alva, but this is what they want. I'm aware that it will pose problems for those who work on the front lines like you, but acting in accordance with orders handed down from above is precisely our duty.
Alright.
Then what are the orders from above? Continue the recon mission, keep monitoring for any abnormal electromagnetic pulses. Doesn't really say Very different from before. Also, maintain contact with the commander and when necessary, relay information about the Elmo back to the organization. Alva waits for a moment, but no further reply can be heard from the comms. That's all? That's all. Does it mean the commander's already safe? Well, it's at least a positive sign, isn't it? Alright. Although this doesn't seem any different from what we were already doing, we'll keep up our work. Since that's how the higher-ups want it. In any case, safety first. You too. You too. Beep. The call ends. The Elmo travels onward through the boundless desert like it always does. Knock, knock, knock.
Come in.
Commander.
What's wrong? Have you visited Helena?
Yeah, Helena, she woke up for a little bit just now. I told her about everything we went through recently.
Was she able to understand it?
More or less. Although Helena doesn't seem to fully understand it, she understands more than expected.
That is pretty impressive improvement.
But Helena did tell me that while she was asleep, she also dreamed of the girl we weren't able to save. I don't know why, but her ability to sense that girl seems especially strong. She also said that the girl once informed Helena of her name.
That girl. I remember she was called H35, wasn't she?
No, not a designation like H35 or D68. It's a name, like a human name. A name just like the Melanie you gave me. I paused what I'm working on and looked toward Melanie.
Did she say what her name was?
Helena said she forgot. No, that's not right. What she said was, that's something she shouldn't remember.
Shouldn't remember?
I found this phrasing strange, yet it carries something that feels familiar. Commander, the girl seems somewhat different from us. I keep getting the feeling that she doesn't belong here. Melanie's scattered utterings gradually brought a certain idea in my mind to focus. But if that memory existing only in my mind truly did happen, if the possibility that Nirvana showed me really do exist, then, at the other side of the world, those who are already pulled by the thread of fate, could a reunion be possible? Do you think this means we still have a chance to save that girl? After all, Helena can still sense her even now.
We definitely will.
If my conjecture is true, then she must still be alive somewhere in this world. Commander, I'm so sorry. It was only after going through this whole ordeal that I realized I've been talking about things that are really hard to achieve. I always had saving all the other Helenas as my goal, but in the end, even just trying to save H35 was so difficult. But if I don't do it, more and more children will be trapped inside the kind of suffering I went through before.
Melanie.
Huh?
You won't grow taller if you keep letting your mind run wild.
Won't grow taller?
Although you and Helena share the same genes, I remember, we measured your heights last time, she was already 1 centimeter taller than you.
How was that possible? I drank my milk properly too. Melanie clenches her fists, looking at me at a huff, only to find an irrepressible smile spreading across my face. Commander, I knew it. You were lying.
I'm not, it's true. If you don't believe me, go ask Mei-Ling.
I'll ask Miss Mei-Ling in a short while.
If you don't want to lose to Helena, then don't keep dwelling on such things. Melanie, your properties are to eat well and sleep well, then grow taller and bigger as soon as you can. Only then will you become strong enough to fight the bad guys who do evil and save all the Helenas. Wouldn't you agree?
I see.
Alright, now go and get ready for food. I remember that the menu today's got stuff you really like. Fried chicken and pizza.
Yo, that sounds good. Okay, I'll go right now. Melanie waves goodbye to me and jogs out of the ops room. A collapse storm has just passed. The long absent blue sky reappears over the yellow zone. Sunlight shines down upon the desolate land, day after day, as though nothing had ever changed. But some things do indeed quietly change. For instance, I finally decided to stop fixating on the chaotic past, to stop worrying over predicaments that had not yet happened, to stop excessively dwelling on the manipulations and maneuvers of powerful figures. I finally decided to take a probing step forward toward the future. I know not of how far I can go on this mountain, but at the very least, if I must fall, I should try for my remains to lay near the summit. Perhaps, or maybe not due to the change in my state of mind, I noticed that outside the Elmo's window, in the ever-unchanging desert, something I've never seen before has appeared. A purple plant sways freely in the breeze, at the far end of my vision. As the Elmo gradually moves forward, I suddenly realized that it wasn't a plant. I rubbed my eyes.
Nemesis?
And that's how it ends. Wow. Hi, Nemesis. Welcome back. I'm excited for our Nemesis that we're gonna get for the next event. That's gonna be fun. Thank you, Nemesis. Wow, though, I didn't expect to learn about more siblings for the Thurgeon dolls. And also meeting Mother. Oh, Mother. It was so funny seeing Darcher again. Sorry, not sorry, Darcher. And I know we're all caught up just in time. Aw, yeah. I'm excited for the next event, but I'm scared for next month because Soap Banner. She's the doll that I've been wanting the most. Wah. And by the next event, because I'm all caught up, it'll be fine. I'm not gonna be worried too much, but I'm gonna at least do one stream per week for that. Just to make sure I get through without having to rush. And I know, right? Just in time for Digimon. Nemesis went on her homeless arc and then came back a new doll. Yo, I'm happy for her. But yeah, after this we're gonna play some Digimon Time Stranger. I wonder how the third DLC will be, and then also watching the movies afterwards. But I'll hop off for now and hydrate a bit. Hydrate or dihydrate after all. So with that being said, thank you for stopping by the stream. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day for Gacha Luck. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. I also kind of want a popsicle, I'm debating. Popsicle is rather tempting. But do I want that right now or do I want that after Digimon? Decisions. It's a mixed berry popsicle from Costco.